I'd like to relate two related points from Rav Hutner relevant to Leila Seder. Try and make the Seder a bit more meaningful. We find two unique and interesting things going on by the Seder. The first one is that there's this halacha that everything has to be in a question and answer format, and the halacha takes this to an extreme that if you're having the Seder by yourself, you've got to ask yourself questions and then answer your own questions, which seems it's all you, whatever you know. So why are we so concerned that everything should be in an question and answer format? A second unique thing that we find by the Seder is that even though there's miracles, many miracles Baruch Hashem throughout Jewish history for which we praise God, by the Seder there's something unique in the way that we praise God, and I'm referring specifically to the Dayenu. Okay, never in the year do we praise God, and even if you only did that, it would have been enough. And you even did that, and that would also have been enough. Okay, Dayenu. Never do we find such a way of praising God. Why specifically now we're doing this? So Rav explains as follows. There's two types of chesed that one could do with someone else. One he calls chesed vitor, and the other he calls chesed mishpat. Chesed vitor is just straight up 100% chesed. Don't do anything. I'm going to do it all for you. Okay, that's one type of chesed. I guess pure tzedakah. Okay, where I just give you all the money, you don't have to do anything. And the other type of chesed mishpat, that would pan out as, let's say I set you up in a business, so I'm doing chesed for you to set you up in the business, but you're now going to have to work. You're going to have to do things to earn the money. Let's say. So I've made an investment in you, but you're going to have to continue through earning things. Now, we find in chapter 136 of Tehillim that it mentions there 26 times Kilo Lam Chasto. And regarding this, the Gemara says in the end of Pesach Pesachim that this is parallel to the 26 generations from Adam until Moshe, where the world was sustained out of pure chesed. Okay, the Torah was not yet given until the 26th generation, which is Moshe Rabbeinu. And we did not have the merit of Torah, so based on what was God sustaining the world, chesed. So for that we say 26 times Kilo and Chasto. Now, Rav Hutner then adds, though, with Matan Torah this would be changing. Okay, meaning those 26 generations were what Rav Hutner is calling 26 generations of chesed vitor, just straight up chesed. We didn't do anything, God sustained the world. Comes Matan Torah, we've now got to earn it. We've got to fulfill the mitzvahs, we've got to earn it. We're now transitioning into this new a whole new era. And this is the era of Chesed Mishpat, where a framework is being prepared in which we can earn it, but we've got to earn it. Now, there's a major difference between a person in the first situation and a person in the second situation. In the first situation, you don't have to do anything, so the whole issue of seeking out guidance is irrelevant. You've got nothing to do, you don't have to seek any guidance. In contrast, once you get to the second situation and you've got to do something, now it's very important to know what you've got to do and to seek out guidance so that you do it right. This explains now that's Matan Torah. Explains Rav Hutner, Yetzias Mitzrayim is the transition from this first era to the second era. Okay, Yetzias Mitzrayim is the transition from an era in which we don't have to do anything that Yetzias Mitzrayim transitions us into Matan Torah, where we've now got to earn it. As such, this is Pshat, says Rav Hutner, in the question and answer format of the Seder. Okay, asking questions. The fact that you're asking questions, and someone that asks questions presumably doesn't know the answer. Okay, asking questions is a statement. I need guidance. Okay, I'm asking the question because I don't know the answer, and I need someone to explain these things to me. So why are we doing this by Leila Seder? Right? Because Yetzias Mitzrayim is the transition into a stage where you didn't need to ask guidance and now you do. This is Pshat in the question and answer format of the thing. Just to drill in yourself again and again, I need guidance. I'm entering a mode, a track where I need guidance. Now, what is Pshat in Dayenu? We find, and then I'll, Bez Hashem, put this all on a practical level for us. We find in Sefer Malachi, Perek Gimel Pasuk Yud, the prophet tells Klal Yisrael in the name of God, "V'harikosi lechem bracha ad b'li dai." I will spill out for you blessing ad b'li dai. Now the words ad b'li dai are a little bit not clear what they're saying. The literal translation would be until without enough. What does that exactly mean? It says a very famous Chazal, ad sheyivlu sifsosechem milom radai. Okay, Baal, the root Beis Lamed is a term of withering. Ad sheyivlu sifsosechem milom radai means you're going to have so much blessing that your lips will wither from saying enough. Okay? You're going to have so much, going to be like enough. And then some more is going to be poured on you. No, really enough, and more. Okay? And eventually you'll be saying enough so many times that your lips are going to wither. Okay? Says Rav Hutner, this is what's going on by Dayenu. Okay? Dayenu is, we're taking 15 major chasadim, good presents that God gave us by Yetzias Mitzrayim himself, or immediately afterwards, and we're saying die. And had only this happened, it would have been enough. And he didn't even do another thing, and that would have been enough. And he didn't do another thing, and that would have been enough. Okay, and we're reaching this state where our lips are withering from saying die. So that's shot in what this song, this statement of Dayenu is. But the question is again, why are we doing this now? What does this do with Yetzias Mitzrayim? So Rav Hutner answers based on what we've been saying, that as we transition into this stage where now we've got to do something, okay, it's very easy to despair and say, oh, now I've got to do something, well, I'm not going to be able to do it, right? So basically, let's talk about the Chassidim, these 15 gifts that we recount in Dayenu. What's shot that God, in fact, just poured onto us all these good things at that time. God was basically, to put it in regular terms, he was basically giving us a big pat on the back, big slap on the back and saying, don't worry, you'll be fine. Okay? You think, oh, now that you have to earn it, you're going to totally blow it? Right? God's basically saying to us, right, look, Yetzias Mitzrayim. This was the transition into the period in which you had to earn it. And look how many good things happened to you. Right? Look, you did just fine. Okay? So in recounting Dayenu and in recounting all the blessing that was bestowed upon us at this time when we had to earn it, the message that's emerging over here is God telling us, like I said, right, don't worry about it, you're going to do just fine. They did fine then. They transitioned into this period where they had to earn it, and they did fine. You'll do fine also. Now, how does this all pan out for us? So, as is well known, the whole Jewish calendar repeats itself every year. Okay, it's not remembering what happened every year. We don't remember what happened. We relive what happened. Okay, and on a more detailed level, every Leil Seder we are given a tremendous spiritual burst of energy for free, and during the 49 days of Sfiras Omer, we are supposed to now re-earn whatever we were given on Leil Seder for free. We have to now re-earn it through our own efforts, and hopefully then we come to Matan Torah on Shavuos and get it back ourselves. Okay, so all of these things, therefore, are completely relevant to us each year. Okay, every year as we enter Sfiras Omer, we're entering, which begins on the second night of Pesach. Every year we're now entering a state in which we have to begin to act, we have to begin to earn things relative to what was before. We have to now do that much more. Okay, each of us has to know we need guidance. Okay, we need guidance, and therefore each of us each year has to go through the Seder in the question and answer format to drill into ourselves that we need guidance. And as we enter this period in which we've got to do that much more, it's very easy for any of us to be overcome with despair and be like, oh, I'm probably going to mess up. And therefore we remind ourselves that just like when the Jewish people transitioned into this second era of history, and even though they had to earn things, this blessing was pouring upon them to the point where their lips, one's lips could wither from saying enough. There's so much. Okay, so too we have to we have to open our ears and hear Hashem telling us each year, don't worry, you'll do just fine. Just proceed step by step, and Bez Hashem, you come to Matan Torah, earning on your own what was given to you for free on Leil Pesach. Bez Hashem, we should take these ideas with us to make this upcoming period that much more meaningful.